here.
And she came to Minnesota to train and learn to be a world-class opposite. The kind of opposite who stays on the court, plays defense, serves, hits out of the backcourt, there's some defense, and brings a ton of offense, as any international caliber opposite needs to do, needs to be a Terminator. So we have Terminators on both sides of the net. This is going to be such a fun match to watch. Not only Samity and Presley, but the other people around them as both teams look to distribute.
And look at Stephanie Samity's numbers. They were great last year. They're even better this season as she has fine-tuned her game. 9th in the nation in kills per set. Her second Big Ten Player of the Year award. It helps, too, that they've had a little more consistency at the setting position. Melanie Schaffmaster wheeling and dealing. And look, it's not just Stephanie Samity. They've got Jenna Winnis, too, who's having a good sophomore season.
They do, and another part of the equation is having the passing, the ball control on the first contact to make that happen. So they're really happy to have Cece McGraw back in the starting lineup.
Yes, we will see her. She did not play in the first and second rounds due to an injury. And there's Marika Vandermark swinging on the right side and a kill for Baylor. You know, it's an easy storyline to pick up that these two teams opened the season playing against each other, but that first match of the season, there's so many questions you're figuring out on both sides of the net, and they've had so many matches to do that. I don't know if that first match can help them at all. ID Miyabe, left side.
I agree with you, Courtney. The teams, it's basically, you can't even look at the results of that match and compare these two teams. They've gone through so much and they both had such great conference seasons, as you mentioned. Baylor with the huge win against Texas in that second match of a two-night pair, and then Minnesota really strong, tied for third in the Big Ten.
There goes Avery Skinner, the transfer from Kentucky. Now, she wanted a specific master's program, so that's why she ended up with the Baylor Bears and not another season at Kentucky.
Well, you know, with all those COVID extra seasons, we're going to have a bunch of PhDs playing out here. We're looking really at the next class of professors in college.
That's a great point. You're going to have 5th year, 6th year players. I've seen some 7th year players on the football side of things. There you see Cece McGraw. She is back in that libero jersey.
And give her credit for that kill. What a nice play. She used her right foot, so she has to set from behind that line, behind that 3-meter line, put Miyabe in the perfect place.
What is the difference with Cece McGraw out there at libero?
Well, you know, Kilkelly did a nice job for them earlier in the spring when McGraw was out, and recently, but McGraw brings such experience and a very high level of first contact. So when the other team's serving the ball, McGraw can put her team, her setter specifically, Melanie Schaffmaster, in the right spot to run the offense.
Avery Skinner gets a kill from the right side and now goes back to serve for Baylor. First regional semifinal, that's the round of 16 here in Madison. The swing from Jenna Winnis is long, but it was touched.
And so McGraw struggles on that first contact, but who jumps in? The all-around opposite, Stephanie Samity, who set that ball and got the assist for the kill. Touch off the block, smart swing by Winnis, but the play was really corrected by Samity.
Overpass, Avery Skinner dives in. Lauren Harrison gets rejected. Katie Myers at the net with Samity.
Myers and Samity, this is not an easy block to contend with. You see 4 hands way across. Got to find a little more space around rather than right into the front of the block.
Yassiana Presley. And there's a net violation on Minnesota, but we've known Yassi to have that power. She can have it from anywhere across the net.
You saw her just bring the heat. McGraw came up with it, but we're going to see this all match long. Presley's going to be bringing it, and not just from that right side.
Schaffmaster goes behind to Samity, and she is stuffed. I want to go back to Yassiana Presley because I don't think it's very often you ask a National Player of the Year, and that's what she was in 2019, to change positions, and then she still has success. I'm so impressed.
She's done a great job, and that's what great volleyball players need to do is sometimes, and we've seen this so much in COVID, whether it's positive tests or injuries, people have to adjust and they have to accept a new role. She's doing a really nice job of that for Baylor.
Swing is long by Jenna Winnis for Minnesota. We are playing to 25. You have to win by 2. It is the best of 5. Chanel Bramschreiber, the libero for Baylor. Jenna Winnis. There you go. That's the sophomore.
Well, you've worked those beach national championships. That was a beach shot right there. It wasn't hard driven, but it's so sharp. That kind of play will catch somebody like Baylor's outside Harrison off balance and off guard because the hitter wasn't facing her.
Here comes Lauren Harrison. Samity on the dig. But that block from Baylor stands strong.
And that's another part of the Presley's game that you have to be impressed with. As an outside, she was used to blocking on the left. Now she's doing a lot of her blocking on the right. She comes up with the stuff with the block assist.
Good pass from Jenna Winnis. It goes back to her and she gets the kill.
And again, she faced more to her left, and then threaded the needle through the block. We call that a wrist away swing, where she actually reaches outside to her right and ends up swinging with her thumb down.
Jenna Winnis, a second-team All-Big Ten selection. She's had double-figure kills their last 10 games. This is Presley coming out of the back row.
The interesting thing, we talked to Coach McCutcheon, and he said, look, they have so many options. We have to try to reduce it a little. On this last play, Minnesota served Harrison short to try to take her out of the play, but Baylor solves the problem. Easy solution with Presley.
Schaffmaster back behind her to Stephanie Samity.
And that's what the true international caliber opposites want to be able to do, is attack from behind the setter on what we would call the right sideline. And that was a swing that Samity has taken consistently throughout this season.
Katie Myers back serving, and it's a service error. First one we have had today. Yeah, it was interesting to talk to Hugh McCutcheon, Minnesota's head coach, about how you attack this Baylor team because of all the weapons that they have, and that serve is so important.
It sure is. As soon as you get that setter on the run, that is really not a setter on the run, and so it's tougher to block Miyabe out on Minnesota's left side.
ID Miyabe on the left side, the transfer from JUCO. She played at Southern Idaho, was the JUCO Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago when they won a national championship. Nice pass from Skinner. Presley! It hit the scoreboard and came down on the other side, so they will stop the play.
And again, you can see Minnesota trying to, thanks to Coach McCutcheon, he talked about this yesterday, trying to serve Harrison short and take her out of the play. But the easy answer is Yossi Presley just bringing her cannon of an arm.
Miyabe swinging on the right pin in this rotation, but is long. Anna Sedgwick back to serve, a two-time Big 12 setter of the year. Jenna Winnis out of the back row. Stop! Delly Huseman!
What a solid block by Minnesota. Sometimes blockers will anticipate that it would go out to the sideline and overrun it, but watch, they stop. They stop inside. They're in the perfect place to make that block. And of course, Avery Skinner has to adjust a little more and find open space down the line.
There's been a little rotation in the middle for Minnesota this year. We've also seen Shea Rubright in that position. And that swing off of the block, it does drop in, point for Baylor.
Seeing some real opportunities for both teams to score in transition, but the block then coming into play that time for Baylor.
Baylor with 3 team blocks, Minnesota has 2. Winnis with the tip. Sedgwick to Presley. Baylor's still alive. This is a great opportunity for the Gophers. And that's all Samity needed.
You know, Courtney, this season more than ever, I've seen Stephanie Samity mix in the soft shot. She has the heat, and that gets defenders on their heels. And then when she mixes in the open hand tip and the roll shot, it's a tough combination to be able to read and defend all of those.
Couple of overpasses and over dig gets Minnesota a point. So do you like the decision for Samity to come back? She is one of those players that was able to come back and use an extra year.
You know, it's really hard to say. I think it's a very individual decision. She probably could have come out. I think she was ready enough, but she's really ready to come out now and go to the next level after her college career is done in the next couple of weeks at latest. And she has trained with one of the great coaches in college volleyball, former USA men's and women's coach, Hugh McCutcheon, winning gold medal with the men, silver medal at the Olympics with the women, and so he knows exactly what's required at the next level.
And that was one of the reasons why she wanted to come to Minnesota, to get that great training in that opposite position and play all the way around, too.
Yeah. Exactly, staying on the court. So many opposites only get to do the front row portion, and then they come out and they don't get to learn how to hit a good serve, don't get to learn how to play good defense and control the ball, and take those really important backcourt swings that we see from Stephanie Samity all season long.
A 4-time All-American has the chance to be a 5-time All-American. Those awards will be announced next week. Lauren Harrison. Samity back row. Dug up by Bramschreiber.
And she took something off of that, because I think she made a really good decision. Everything wasn't lined up for Stephanie Samity to take the big swing. So you see her take something off it, and it turns into a kill. All she was really looking to do was cause trouble.
Minnesota down by a point now. Another tough serve. It has Baylor scrambling, and that's going to be a point for Minnesota.
And that's the exact serve that we saw Minnesota practicing yesterday, pulling the outside short.
Ryan McGuire has had a lot of success at Baylor. He's in his 7th season. He took them to the national semifinal back in 2019. That was when Yassiana Presley was named the National Player of the Year. And here goes Presley. Is there a touch? No. Point Minnesota. They have the 15-14 lead. And the Gophers take advantage by a point.
The NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship is presented by Buick, the official SUV of the NCAA.
Well, Bucky's still waiting for his Wisconsin Badgers to show up. That'll be later tonight following this first regional semifinal here in Madison, Wisconsin. Courtney Lyle alongside Karch Karai. Stephanie Samity already has 5 kills. She has become the second player ever in the Big Ten with 2,000 kills and 1,500 digs. Marika Vandermark. Nobody touched it. Minnesota point. Samity's serve has been tough.
It has, and it's not so much that she's trying to get an ace. She's trying to serve short to number 31, Lauren Harrison, and disrupt her offense just like that, to make her less of an option. But
Presley.
Baylor solves that easily.
Oh, I know. You've got Yassiana Presley turning it down the line.
And I talked in the open about how Baylor's using their parts so well. They love to have number 22 on your screen, Yassi Presley, hit on the left when the other team is serving, but then she's doing a lot more hitting on the right sideline when it's in transition.
And she's, remember, totally comfortable on the left. She's played there the majority of her career at Baylor. Oh, Schaffmaster getting tricky. Good up by Bramschreiber. Samity off of the block.
You're right. You pointed it out earlier, Courtney. Really nice read by Bramschreiber. Backcourt players have to stay ready for that setter. In that case,
Winner of this regional semifinal will get the winner of Wisconsin and UCLA in the regional final, the round of 8 on Saturday. We will have Wisconsin UCLA approximately 5 Eastern for you here on ESPNU. Miyabe. Off of the block, gets a touch, Heidi Miyabe.
When Minnesota passes well like that, Schaffmaster doesn't have to move much. Their offense is clicking, but they've had a number of misfires. We saw it on the very first play of the game with CeCe McGraw receiving poorly, and when they do that, they're struggling in their out-of-system game.
Katie Myers on the serve. Hannah Sedgwick, that's just throwing it down, the pass from Skinner.
You're right. Credit that perfect pass by Avery Skinner. So she puts her setter in a spot where the setter can not only set any option, but be an option herself. So really it becomes 4 or 5 hitters against only 3 blockers, advantage offense.
Miyabe responding through the Baylor block.
This is a view that I like, Courtney. All coaches and players watch much more from the end zone than from the sideline. So let's watch Yossi Presley. She's in the forefront, closest to us, number 22. Let's see where she goes. She's going behind the setter, but that's a broken play, so they couldn't set her. Avery Skinner saves that one. But that's an example of how it's fun to watch the lateral movement of the players and how Yossi Presley was moving to her right to try to spread out the defense.
Yes,
and now we get to see the opposite side. Stephanie Samity over to our right. And Minnesota sets the other way, goes to Miyabe. So some good views of how the blockers have to work from one sideline to the other and at least try to get 4 or 2 good pairs of hands in front of a hitter.
1-point game here in the opening set, playing to 25. Brasinio with the up. Presley on the left pin. Stopped. It was Ellie Huseman and Stephanie Samity. Tied at 21.
And the interesting thing is there was some time there for that ball to come up on coverage. Baylor couldn't handle it.
7th time we have been tied in this set. Jenna Winnis, pretty angle.
Wonder if she'll be playing a beach season at some time soon. She's using again that beach cut shot. It is not her hardest hit, but it's catching Baylor by surprise. You see her face us a little and then go away to her right or left.
Yeah, Jenna Winnis was the number 3 overall player by PrepVolleyball.com, an Under Armour All-American.
No surprise that it's this close. I would expect this to continue throughout the match.
Yeah, we just have so much talent. I mean, the coaches have even noticed how many All-Americans we have in this regional, and we're not just going to see them in this match. We're going to see them in that Wisconsin-UCLA match. That'll be our 2nd match of the night. You'll get to see Mac May, a 2-time Pac-12 Player of the Year, and Dana Recchi, a 4-time All-American. The stars are out in Madison this weekend.
With a chance for a 5th All-American when that gets named next week.
What a resume. Block! Huseman and Winnis.
Wow, nice execution by Minnesota. First they go to their right and block Presley, then moving to their left. And we talked about it, Winnis, with her development as a blocker, she comes up with the stuff.
Minnesota scored 4 straight. That went off of the block into the antenna, so the ball is out, point Baylor.
And you can expect Steph Samity, she's in her spot in the middle front of the court where she's going to be able to hit behind the setter. That's her bread and butter up front. So that would be Minnesota's primary option right now, is to go back to Samity like that.
Hannah Sedgwick saves it for Baylor, but still it's going to result in a great opportunity for Minnesota, and they go to Winnis. Ooh, good block. Kara McGee and Yassiana Presley.
Huge credit to McGee. She's been fighting some health problems. Her hitting efficiency is down, but that was advantage the whole way. That was a free ball for Minnesota. Late arriving middle comes up with the stuff and steals that advantage away. Well executed by Baylor.
23-all, you have to win by 2. Tied for the 8th time now. Lauren Harrison. And there's going to be a net violation on Baylor. It is set point Minnesota.
So just as Samity was a primary option, look who's at the front court for Baylor. Yassiana Presley. She's standing in the middle there in the forefront just to the right of the net, and she's going to back off and be the left side hitter, but she doesn't get the set. Nicely played by Harrison.
Tied at 24, extra points. You have to win by 2. I'm not surprised we're going to extra points in the first set. Just gets it over, but Baylor will take it. Winnes. Second set point, Minnesota.
With Samity coming to the line, and they've been calling for her to serve Harrison a little short and a little inside the court. Try to pull her, disrupt her offensive route.
She goes back at Harrison. Presley. Ouch.
That's another part of that equation for Baylor. They figured out how to have Yassiana Presley hit on the left side 3 times, even though she's in the opposite position. She gets the kill.
An ace for Presley, grazing number 10 Kentucky, taking on Notre Dame. Both games on the ESPN, and on the app. One app, one tap. Hey, the great news is you can see all of the regional action all the way through the national championship streaming on the ESPN app, talking about the volleyball tournament. So if there's another match going on you want to see, head over to the ESPN app and you can find it there. Samity just flying. Great dig by Presley. Back to Samity. Changes up her shot. Bramschreiber all over it. Jenna Winnes. That was a great rally, but Minnesota's going to win it on the block to tie this up.
Best rally of the day. Such wonderful defense. Yassiana Presley started it with that dig on Samity, but well done on both sides until Minnesota sticks with it.
Minnesota has already had 2 set points here in the opening frame. Presley out of the back row, right at her counterpart, Samity.
Presley dug the last one, tries to return the favor, hits it right off Samity's shoulder.
Second set point for Baylor. And it'll be Lauren Briseno, the freshman defensive specialist out of San Antonio. Comes Yassiana Presley, and Baylor wins the first set 28-26.
As that set went on, it seemed like he's for Purdue to advance to the regional final.
Yeah, so they have moved on. Louisville has moved on with a sweep of Florida. And remember, the Big Ten had 6 teams make the regional semifinals. The Big 12 was right behind them. And we have a team from the Big Ten and a team from the Big 12. And that first set did not disappoint. Yassiana Presley had 9 kills.
She seemed to get stronger as that set went on, and you could hear her calling for the ball, and you could see her taking her hardest rip.
First set went to extra points. 28-26 was the score in favor of Baylor. Briseno loved the hustle. And Presley wide.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Coach McGuire gave a lot of credit to Lauren Briseno, said she's the best passing freshman he's ever seen, had in the program. That last play, she comes up with a great read to give her Baylor team a scoring opportunity.
We were looking at the numbers, and Karch, you had mentioned that this Baylor team has 3 players that 60% of the time they're giving Hannah Sedgwick a good pass, just like that.
Exactly. That's a kind of a high water mark when you can have your setter receiving a pass like that last one. That pass was from Avery Skinner, where she doesn't have to move at all, or she's only moving a little bit. And they do that. They have 3 passers who do that over 60% of the time. That's one of the true strengths of the Baylor Bears.
And Ryan McGuire has his hand on the green challenge card, but decided to leave it on the table as they gave that point to Minnesota off of a touch. And an ace, Katie Myers.
I think I jinxed it, talking about the good passing percentage. That would be part of the 40% that's not good passing. Good serve. Tough serve by Minnesota.
Avery Skinner off of the block.
Briseño coming up with that great first touch. So much of this game depends on the first touch, whether it's a tough serve or the touch off that serve. That's a good touch for Minnesota, and it leads to a kill because Schaffmaster is very close to the net and doesn't have to move much to set her middle.
That was Ellie Huseman coming out of the middle. So going to 25 in this set, you have to win by 2. That came into play in the first set between these two. Ooh, 3 ball, no, too long. Point Minnesota. Boy, they flipped the switch after a tough loss in the first set.
Yeah, starts with good, really tough serving. And McGee would like to have this one back. She just tried to be too perfect with it. Put it 5 feet out. She's got to keep it in and set up her block.
Melanie Schaffmaster on this serve. Skinner gets hands. Avery Skinner with her 5th kill. You know, we knew what kind of offense Avery Skinner was going to bring to Baylor. I've been surprised at her all-around game. I mean, her passing, her at the net blocking. Ryan McGuire said that was a nice surprise.
Yep, she's one of those passers that you just brought up. Passing over 60% of the time, putting her setter in a great spot to run the offense. So that's a big improvement for her over the course of her career. Nice swing by Miabe with the setter in right back. We call that rotation 1 in American volleyball.
ID Miabe with 6 kills to match Stephanie Samity, her teammate. Avery Skinner flying out of the back row.
Man, it's so tough to defend Baylor. They had 4 hitters running routes at the 3 blockers. 2 at the pin, at the sidelines, and then 2 out of the back court.
So what is that doing to the block?
Well, you're overloaded. It's like what they really have to do is read the setter and respond. But when they wait to see where the ball's going, they're going to be late to arrive.
There's a block, Lauren Harrison up at the net. And a service error by Chanel Bramschreiber. Minnesota's serving, coming out serving and passing tough here in the second set. They'll send Cece McGraw back. Presley, left side. Blocked. But it goes out of bounds. Point Baylor.
That's a few times that Presley's done well using the right hand, actually the right wrist, of the blocker Samity at the net. Samity can do a better job of closing that down.
Service error for Baylor. Stephanie Samity had some key serving runs in the first set. 6 kills, 2 blocks. All of those kills coming in that opening frame. Minnesota called in the net.
And what a nice save by Harrison. She had to reach out with her left hand. Her feet were really far from the ball, but she kept it alive and kept it alive enough to give time for Minnesota to net and cause the violation.
Samity. It went outside the antenna. Avery Skinner really had to reach far to get that.
Yeah, it was late in set 1 and then just mistimed by Baylor. And then now early in set 2, Samity and Schaffmaster having a little bit of trouble connecting. That's why you see some of those off-speed swings from Samity.
Oh, and there's an ace from Jenna Winnes as it grazes off the tape. Minnesota has been in control here in set number 2 after Baylor won the opening set 28-26. Anna Sedgwick throws it down. This Minnesota team, they started out the season 1-3. They lost to Baylor, Texas, and Florida, but they have won 10 of their last 12. Samity. They'll try Miyabe on the left side. Oh, Presley giving everything she has, but it's a point for the Gophers. Minnesota comes in as the 12 seed, 21-8. They went 15-5 in Big Ten play. Had a couple of wins over Ohio State, Nebraska, and Illinois. Look, the Big Ten just beats up on each other every season.
They do, and it was a very strong finish for Minnesota, tied for 3rd place. The question is, when you get beaten up like that, can you have enough energy? It's kind of like the old ACC in basketball. They get so beaten up, they did not have enough left for the actual NCAA tournament. It's a fine line that you have to play.
They've got some left after that block. Ellie Huseman and Schaffmaster, the setter.
Putting her 6'3" frame to great use. One of the taller setters when it comes to blocking at the net in the college game.
Schaffmaster's sister Mabry plays at North Carolina. They made the tournament as well. Lost to Tennessee in the first round. Another block! Minnesota! Miyabe! And Ryan McGuire wants to take a timeout as Minnesota up 13-7 here in set number 2. Minnesota has scored 3 straight points, and the block, yeah, it's coming up big time right now for the Golden Gophers.
She's now playing the opposite, which I think is a better fit for the tools that she has available. Saw her take a great swing from the right side in that last rally.
Brasinho saves it. Winnes out of the back row. Schaffmaster to Samity. She's taken a lot off her swing the last few times we've seen Stephanie Samity. Attacking error gives the kill to Minnesota.
Got a little more tentative, and again, when you see a number of off-speed swings, one good explanation for why is just a little bit of lack of rhythm or disrupted rhythm between setter and hitter.
Oh, here's a battle on the left side right now. It was Samity versus Presley. Here it goes again. And Hannah Sedgwick was in the net.
Another careful swing from Samity, not going for the kill, just trying to cause a little trouble. She didn't get a very good transition. Ooh, she even dropped that time. She tried to stay out of the way on the block.
Now a 6-point lead for Minnesota. Avery Skinner wanting that sharp angle, but she won't get it. What's been the difference for Minnesota where they've been able to jump out like this?
A couple more stuffs and a few more hitting errors from Baylor. They were a really solid and consistent offensive performance in that first set.
3 straight points for the Gophers. Net violation on Minnesota. If you missed the first set, it was epic. You may have to go back and watch it on the ESPN app because it was 28-26. We had at least 8 ties in that opening set. Baylor was victorious in the end, but Minnesota regrouped nicely here in set 2. Point Gophers. Rachel Kilkelly, she's been libero their last 2 matches because Cece McGraw has been out. As McGraw takes a big-time swing from Skinner.
That was from the first play, too. The first defensive play, McGraw took some heat from Presley. Both players, Skinner, Presley, taking great swings out of the backcourt.
Baylor's hitting percentage in this set, though, still pretty low at 120. Presley tooling the block. She leads everyone in this match with 12 kills. Presley, the only 4-time All-American in Baylor history. Service error.
Watch Marika Vandermark run across from left to right. They're trying to get her all the way behind the setter so she can put her left arm, her left shoulder to better use. She runs back again. She's going to stay behind the setter. Nice block by Samity, one-on-one.
Samity versus Presley, and Samity wins.
A lot of battles between these two because Samity plays on the right and Presley can play anywhere along the net. They like to have her hit on the left side in transition.
Sedgwick on the move once again. Lauren Harrison just gets a piece of the court. Her 4th kill. Winner of this regional semifinal will get either Wisconsin or UCLA on Saturday. That match coming up later tonight. Harrison back to back.
And hitting Samity with another tentative swing. She got under that ball. The set drifted off a little, creating an easy chance for Baylor to score. I like how Harrison hit cross court one shot and then the next down the line, hitting with range.
Oh, Bram Schreiber. Beautiful dig. Back row, Yassiana Presley.
That combination's been working for Baylor for several years now, with Hannah Sedgwick feeding her favorite hitter, Presley.
5th service error tonight for Baylor. Here comes Presley. Cece McGraw, yes!
Nice.
Lay out for it. Marika Vandermark with the left hand.
Yeah, that's just so unusual to have a left-handed middle, and in transition she goes away from the middle. You see her sprint to the top of your screen, and then they run a really fast set to her. So it's like she's an opposite on offense, but a middle blocker on defense.
Puts a strain on the defense. Back corner, dropped in by Jenna Winnes.
And that would be an example that Coach McCutcheon talked to us about yesterday. Her surprising as she's developed a lot more offensive range from the sharp cross court we saw early in the match to that line shot.
Yeah, you can already see how extensive her toolkit is just in these first 1.5 sets, if you will.
We also see some of the static that we were
Yes.
talking about. Some hairs are flying around when you get the dry, cold weather.
6 service errors now for Baylor. Minnesota 3 points away from evening up this match. Baylor took the first set 28-26. It's so fun to watch Yassiana Presley. I might enjoy watching her more out of the back row than in the front row.
It's actually more difficult for the block because they're farther away from the ball, and she just has better range. Really nicely started on that rally with a great first contact by Avery Skinner.
ID Miyabe. No touch call. Watch out, Baylor's creeping up. Tough service error at a tough time. 23-19. Minnesota just trying to get those 2 points to win this set.
Yep, sometimes you'll see that, Courtney, when a team's down by 3 or 4, like Baylor is. They feel like, okay, we've got to put even more spice on this serve, and it causes some errors.
Power from Yassi.
That's the matchup at the net. Samity on her right, Presley on her left. This time Presley will go to her right and get in front of Samity again as the primary blocker.
And a block, Lauren Harrison and Kara McGee. Baylor down by 2.
Huge move by Harrison. Number 31 to your left. See that crossover move, and she reached a little bit outside of her. Fooled Miyabe. She thought the line was open.
Here's Samity left side. Set point Minnesota. That's the first kill for Stephanie Samity in this set. She's up to 7 for the match. Rachel Kilkelly's serving. Bram Schreiber there. Lauren Harrison. Second set point, Minnesota. Presley down the line. Baylor wanted a double contact on Huseman. And an attacking error. It is Minnesota's set. We've got an even match here in Madison. Minnesota takes the second set 25-22. We will at least have 4 sets. And we'll get to see Wisconsin, who is the number 4 overall seed, the host. They will take on UCLA later tonight. That's approximately 5 Eastern on ESPN, or about 35 minutes after we finish this match. That'll be on ESPNU. Marika Vandermark from the right side. She is usually an opposite, but they have played her in the middle this year. Bree Coleman serving for Baylor. Huseman from the middle.
And that's a big deal for Minnesota when they can get some production out of their middles. Those are the people who've been least involved in the offense. And of course, that means the opposition's going to be least expecting them to get the ball.
Bersenio with the up. Avery Skinner on the swing. Miyabe tips. Skinner busting the block.
Courtney, early in that rally, Miyabe did a really nice job and tipped short, took Avery Skinner out of the play. The next time she put it deep, we saw Yassiana Presley with a good touch there, gives Baylor a much better chance in transition offense. So even when you're hitting a soft shot, there are very strategic places that you have to put it, advantage or disadvantage. Nice up.
Oh, what a pancake from Schaffmaster. Presley. Free ball back to Minnesota, barely. Oh, and the Gophers, they call a back row attack on Minnesota as Melanie Schaffmaster, their setter, is in the back row.
Yes, this ball, first a great pancake up by Schaffmaster, but as the ball came over later in that rally, it ticked the net, and Minnesota didn't control it well.
Great save. Jenna Winnes finally got it over. Presley blocked. Briseño saved it. Scrappy play on both sides. Skinner.
Oh.
Still going. Oh, Miyabe. She tried. Even if she had gotten that, I don't think she had 1 foot on the playing surface, but what a rally.
What a great up by Schaffmaster. Even though they didn't play off of that, love the hustle. Right there.
3 straight points for Baylor. Out of system swing for Minnesota. Samity on the left.
Yeah, another tentative swing by Samity. And if she's going to go soft, she has to get it more to the setter like that swing. Pull Baylor out of its offense.
4 points for Baylor in a row. Minnesota takes a timeout as the momentum shifting in the third set to Baylor. Baylor up 5-1 here in the third set. Taking a look at how things are shaping up. This is the first day of regional semifinals. The regional finals, the round of 8, will be on Saturday. Louisville has punched its ticket. They swept Florida. Remember, the winner of our regional will move on to the national semifinal to face the winner of that Louisville part of the bracket. And that's going to be another back row attack on Minnesota. Other portion of the bracket, Purdue survived a 5-set thriller with BYU. They're going to play Pitt in the regional final. That is in Pittsburgh on the Panthers' home floor. Oh, it's in from Ivy Miyabe.
I like the strategy from Baylor. Hannah Sedgwick serving short, really breaking up and causing a lot of trouble for the Minnesota offensive routes.
Skinner tried a little too sharp on the angle. Here comes Rachel Kilkelly from behind the service line. Overpass. Minnesota will take it. Ellie Huseman loves it. Her 4th kill.
They do love it because anytime they can get a kill from their middles, it takes a little pressure off the very pin-dependent offense, the very left side, right side dependent offense that Minnesota's had. So the best time they have to run that play is off of a great serve like Kilkelly's where they got the free ball in that last play.
Briseño, that was Brandschreiber, handled it much better. Out of the middle comes Andressa Parise. Baylor has made a change in the middle, putting in number 2 in gray.
Yep, trying to get some more offense. They weren't sure how much McGee was going to be playing. She's been fighting some health issues throughout the course of this season.
Yeah, they have used Parise. They've also used Presley Anderson in the middle throughout the season. We told you there have been a lot of moving rotations for Ryan McGuire's crew over the season.
Nice touch by Kelly. Another tentative swing from Samity.
That has started in the second set for Samity and kind of continued working on that connection with Schaffmaster. Baylor's block for the 8th time comes through.
You know, Courtney, it's been a while since we've seen Samity take a big swing. I'm not sure everything's right. I mean, you can't speculate about injury, but it's just very strange that we haven't seen her really bring in the heat, even on a couple of good sets that last rally. That's a little more like it, but that's not her hardest.
Your card you mentioned, is it the set? Is it something off right there? The ball did sail. She had 6 kills in the opening set, just 1 in set number 2.
Yeah, got very quiet after that. Ooh, nice up.
Schaffmaster, that's a setter. 80 percentage is still below 200 for both teams. Presley, you can count that as number 17.
Yeah, Minnesota really struggling right now to cause trouble with their serve. They went at Lauren Harrison, but she made a perfect contact, and so that leaves less of a well-formed block in front of Presley.
Schaffmaster on the dump. The Minnesota setter getting a little offensive.
She can put her 6'3" frame to use on that one. She doesn't even have to jump that high, and she'll put it right over. Here's a nice view of the end zone, or from the end zone. We'll see number 10 for Baylor sprint across, and then she can be available as a hitter on their right side and use her left hand. Smart play by Harrison. That's got to be a part of every strong outside hitter's toolkit, is the ability to actually not be afraid of the block, but to attack that outside hand of the block.
Schaffmaster had to run all the way across the court. Avery Skinner will get the point for Baylor. Pounds it.
And we saw Schaffmaster hit one of those. Skinner players at the net love that because they very rarely have any hands in front. They could just take their toughest swing when it's within 6 inches to a foot. It also highlights the importance of playing defense where you can actually keep the ball off the net. That's really important for both receiving serve and defense, is not to put it too close and give opponents those unopposed swings.
That's just the 3rd service error for Minnesota. Baylor's got 9 of them. So Baylor's going to sub in Bree Coleman to serve. We saw her come in set 2. Miabe. Melanie Schaffmaster again, a 2-time Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year. She committed to Minnesota as an 8th grader on April Fool's Day. Hugh McCutcheon wasn't actually sure if she was really committing, but she was.
No kidding with her game. He gives her a lot of credit for just becoming so consistent in her location and the way she runs their offense.
Miyabe hits the line judge. Pretty good sign. It's out.
That'll be your first clue.
This match has swung both ways. We saw a back and forth battle in the first set. 28-26 was the final. It went to Baylor, and then Minnesota. All the momentum in set two. That might do it for them. Ellie Huseman.
And Minnesota figures out a better answer in what we would call rotation one. They have their middle run around for the slide, and Samity was ready to attack in the middle of the court. It's a different package of routes than they were running earlier, and a package that was having less success. Good adjustment by Minnesota.
Presley with the power. And going back to that for Minnesota, I mean, we don't see their middles too much offensively just because of the weapons they have on the outside with Samity on the right and then Winnis and Miyabe on the left.
But I think they're smart when they have a good pass to put those middles to better use, because it opens things up for Samity. There's a big swing by Samity. We just haven't seen a lot of that since late in set number one. But I think part of it is set up. You just see a very late arriving middle for Baylor because of the few times that they've set their own Minnesota middle. It keeps the other middle more interested.
Minnesota's got something working right. Down by a point. Closest it's been since it was 2-1 in this set. Lauren Harrison, all right.
And that's such a nice swing. When there's space for you to hit at Courtney, defenders tend to creep up and try to fill it. And then when you hit the very flat shot, the deep part of the court, almost impossible to defend.
Presley and Vandermark on the block.
What an adjustment Vandermark's made. Remember, she played plenty of opposite for Baylor. This season, they're asking her to block in the middle. I think her first time playing that position for them was in that first match of the season against this very Minnesota team.
Inside UW Fieldhouse, they came here for the Big 12, Big 10 Challenge. Samity, oh, net violation, Minnesota. She clipped the net at the end.
But we are seeing harder swinging for her. That created a scoring chance, but she followed through. That's a difficult play. You have to stop your swing to stay out of the net on that overpass.
So Hugh McCutcheon will use his second and final timeout in this set. Stephanie Samity up to a double-double, her 22nd of the season, but Minnesota trailing 17-13.
Love that touch by Cece McGraw to give her team the chance, but it's hard to see it in live action. Just clipped the net with her right thumb, Samity did.
What do you want to change for Minnesota right now?
Well, they haven't been causing nearly as much trouble from their serve as they did in the first set. They were hitting that short space, making the front row outside pass the ball more now. It seems like they've let up, and then when they try to hit it a little harder, they've hit several in the net, which lets Baylor off the hook. So they're going to have to increase their serving pressure and also hope they can get a little more offensive production from Samity as she's swinging harder in this third set.
Yeah, Minnesota only hitting 100 in set number 3. We've got a good lineup for you on Saturday at 3 Eastern on ABC. The 26th MLS Cup features the Timbers taking on NYCFC at Providence Park. Then at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, it's the 87th annual Heisman Trophy ceremony. Our ABC NBA Saturday primetime matchup has Steph and the Warriors squaring off against Joel Embiid and the Sixers. And at 10 Eastern, UFC 269 is on ESPN Plus pay-per-view with 2 title fights. That's coming up on Saturday. Badger faithful in the stands already, waiting for their team, which will come about 35 minutes after we finish this match. Wisconsin and UCLA on deck. Yeah, Lauren Harrison will take that. She's up to 9 kills. Baylor has 2 players in double figures. Presley with 18, Skinner with 12. Hitting .250 in this set are the Baylor Bears. Katie Myers out of the middle.
Minnesota making a concerted effort to get more production from their middles. Over the course of this match, I think that's going to help their pin hitters, the hitters at either sideline, find a little more success.
Yeah, that was Katie Myers' first kill. Ellie Huseman, their other middle, has 5 today. Lauren Harrison right in front of Jenna Winnis.
Boy, a little surprise that went down. Several Minnesota defenders all looked like they were ready to pick that ball up. They anticipated, they read the off-speed shot from Harrison.
Harrison now in double figures. 3 players in double figures for Baylor. Rosinio. Miabe. Avery Skinner wanted the touch. No, point Minnesota. Going to 25, you have to win by 2. More power this time from Avery Skinner.
Last time she was in left front, we saw that same swing. There are 6 zones on the court, and she hits it in that seam between zone 6 in middle back and zone right in left back. Really difficult to defend when it's only a couple of feet in front of that end line. Then we have a half-hearted effort to get that call.
Well, in this set, Baylor's... Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be, there's going to be enough to overturn it. I don't see a touch there.
I don't either. See if it gets the middle. Gonna have to put my X-ray vision on because I'm not seeing anything with that one. See what they come up with.
And so that point is going to stay with Baylor. The original call of no touch will stand, and Baylor has a 21-17 advantage here in set number 3.
Yeah, they need clear and convincing evidence to overturn. Definitely didn't see that.
Shaftmaster, she's got more aggressive as this match has gone on.
And across the net, Avery Skinner read it. She was all over this. You see her jumping hard. She just didn't reach her right hand far enough, but she anticipated that play, had a chance for a stuff.
Skinner. Nobody was over there, and Avery Skinner knew it.
And that shouldn't be too surprising to Minnesota because we've seen Jenna Winnis hit several of those shots. Not your hardest swing, a beach cut shot. That time, Minnesota completely surprised.
Baylor needs 3 points to take a 2-1 lead in the match. Heidi Miabe is in double figures. She's the first Gopher in double figures today. 10 kills.
This is that adjustment Minnesota's made when their setter's in right back. They run a slide to the middle, and allow Miyabe to hit on the left rather than on the right.
Service error. Free point for Baylor. Short serve by Skinner. Baylor's hitting efficiency has gone way up in this third set. They're hitting 278 in this set. They were around the 100 mark in the last set. Got it, yes, Lauren Harrison did, 11th kill. Set point Baylor.
And you know, one of the reasons their efficiency has gone up is swings like that. Not errors, but just, and not their hardest swing, but hitting the edges of the court where the defense isn't.
Schaffmaster backside to Samity, no touch, and
NCAA title, that would be a first for I'm guessing, for somebody in volleyball to win a title in one season with one team and then 6 months later win it with another team.
In the same calendar year, yeah. Well, since that Texas match, remember they played double headers, so they played Texas, they lost the first night, they beat Texas the second night, and they haven't lost a match since then.
Yeah, and Coach McGuire gives a lot of the credit to Avery Skinner. He said she just never takes a break. That's a huge compliment from a coach, that every single play she's engaged and looking to try her hardest and to get better.
Heidi Miyabe is going to start off this fourth set with a kill. Minnesota has got to win this set to advance. Winner gets Wisconsin or UCLA. There's Avery. Changes it up. Samity saves it. Skinner a third time. 15th kill for Avery Skinner.
And setter Hannah Sedgwick showing visibly the confidence that she has in Avery Skinner, going back to her a second and then finally a third time to finish that rally.
Yeah, the first time they faced Minnesota, it was the season opening match this year, and I don't know if that connection between Sedgwick and Avery Skinner was there just yet, because they had just started working together.
Exactly. They had no time together in the spring because, well, Skinner was busy winning an NCAA title. No spring training there, so they really only had a week or two to get it together. And really, as they developed the rhythm, it's through this long pre-conference and conference season.
Melanie Schaffmaster. Do you like her being offensive?
I do. As long as she keeps having success. We even saw a play late in the third set where Skinner was on it. She had a blocker and who read the play right and still had success. So when she's notching those kills, I say give her the green light.
That's a 6'3" setter, no blocking or size disadvantage at the setting position for Minnesota.
We're in this adjustment again for Minnesota where they're going to keep all three hitters to one side of the court and then run a middle on the slide like that.
That's
They've been having success, but it didn't go down that time, and Baylor got themselves a free ball.
Sedgwick dishes it up to Harrison. Bumps it to Miyabe. They'll check that. ID Miyabe, the only Minnesota Gopher in double figures with 11 kills. Started in junior college. Actually was playing tennis for fun when she was a kid. Her friend's team needed an extra volleyball player, so she went and stood on the court and hated it. And here she is, loving the sport and playing for Minnesota.
Learning a new language.
Yeah, that was a big reason why Miyabe had to go to Southern Idaho, is that she wanted to come play in the States, but really needed to work on that English to have success in the classroom, too.
You have to have admiration for it, especially when you don't learn it growing up. Somebody who grows up with 2 languages, it's a very different thing to learn a new language as an adult. It's a true sign of a learner.
Huseman, stop!
That's a play that when you're hitting on the left side and you're scrambling, the block's right in front of you. The one place you don't want to hit it is into the middle blocker's armpits. You got to find a more productive place that's going to cause more trouble.
The tip by Winnes was wide. Point Baylor. They're up by a point. If the Bears win this set, they win the match and move on to the round of 8.
Another far less than hard swing from Samity. Can't figure out. That set looked like it was in a good spot. The rhythm looked right, but she's not swinging hard at it.
And it's totally different from the first set when we saw her ripping balls.
Even that was a harder swing, but that is not the heat that we saw in the first set. And we've seen in a season that earned her a 2nd Big Ten Player of the Year in the same calendar year.
Yeah, Samity was 6 kills in the opening set. She's had 3 since then, and we're in set 4. Oh, Hannah Sedgwick!
That's another great choice for setters. Not only do you throw it down sharp like we've seen Shaftmaster do for Minnesota, but you can use your left hand to put it right, thread the needle, get it right into the corner. That's very difficult to defend.
Introducing Wendy's new hot and crispy fries. Preferred almost 2-to-1 over McDonald's. Try them today, only at Wendy's.
Welcome back. NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship is presented by Buick. We're in Madison, Wisconsin. The number 12 and the number 5 seed, Minnesota and Baylor. Battling here, Courtney Lyle, Karch Karai with you. Baylor leads the match 2-1. And they have scored 4 straight points. Yassiana Presley at the service line with the ace.
And that's not the strongest part of her game. So when she's getting aces, Baylor's particularly happy. She does everything so well, but that standing float generally doesn't cause very many problems. And another off-speed shot from Samity.
We've been trying to figure out what's going on with Stephanie Samity because she's not bringing full power at the volleyball. It's been tips.
We saw it in the first set, but not since then. You know, she's hitting over 260 on the season. She started hitting 400, coming out hot this match. Now she's under 100 on 42 swings.
She'll get a point behind the service line. I mean, Samity is so important. A 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, All-Region Player of the Year, 4-time All-American. She's averaging 4.8 kills per set, 9 today. Warren Harrison and Kilkelly. Good effort.
And another off-speed shot from Samity.
Jenna Winnes. Presley out of the back row. A little misfire, but it still goes over. And Minnesota just let it drop.
There's just no firepower from Samity through the course of this season. You could even hear CeCe McGraw call her name. Steph, I'm setting you on this in this transition play. And she was bringing heat, been able to bring heat all season long, but something's off. tonight.
And Minnesota's only hitting 130 for the match. They're hitting 0 in this set. There you go, Stephanie Samity, up to 10 kills. She's got a double-double, her 22nd of the season.
Yep, a little more heat on that, but if we were able to compare it, if we had a radar gun, it would have been way off from how she came out. We were just watching blast from Samity, blast from Presley to start this match.
It started with a bang, a 28-26 decision in the first set.
It's a really tough ball for the block to time because the hitter is so far away from them. That time about 12 feet off.
Jenna Winnes is struggling too. Her hit percentage is at 0. She's their second best attacking option. Skinner comes and gets it. Katie Myers wanting the touch. Hugh McCutcheon has the green challenge card. Second time Minnesota has challenged today.
I saw much more conviction in the Minnesota players on that one. You could hear it and you could see it. Like, okay, that time, I'm telling you, there really was a touch. Hard to tell. One of the clues, Courtney, is if the ball comes off the hitter's hand with some top spin, but then it touches the block and the spin changes. That time, all I saw was no spin, like a knuckleball off her hand. Maybe it's that left hand of Van der
finger
Mark.
move?
Yeah, it could have been the index finger that they were all calling for a touch on.
The original call was no touch, so it has to be obvious for them to overturn this.
Nothing changed on the spin of the ball, but you could see Cece McGraw. Oh, that's a touch. Miabe, once that ball gets past the block, she's convinced there was a not sure there's going to be convincing evidence, even though that time Minnesota was utterly convinced of a touch, probably on Van der Mark's left hand.
And it looks like they have a decision. Call stays with Baylor, no touch.
Not enough evidence.
So Minnesota's offensive woes continuing here. This is currently a season low hitting percentage for Minnesota. They're hitting 133 for the match. Their previous low was 165 and a loss to Purdue.
Yeah, they're like 100 points lower than their normal average. And it just shows you how much of their production, how much they depend on Samity, who's hitting under 100 tonight, and that drags their percentage down because she's had almost 50 swings, close to a half of their offense.
But only hitting 085.
Yep.
Maybe they need to look for other options like ID Miabe. She's leading them in kills right now with 13. Jenna Winnes is an option out of the back row.
Nice view from the end zone. Let's watch Leosiana Presley in the near court.
Swings long from Avery Skinner, and it's a 1-point game. Remember, Minnesota has to win this set to extend the match.
That's one of the ways you can tell an offensive pattern. Now Presley is far to the right of your screen, and we'll see if she runs again up to that upper sideline. Yep, she's ready to hit right there out of the backcourt.
Parise in the middle.
And I like to give a lot of the credit to that point to Presley, because she caused so much trouble. You know, it's not a kill. It's not an error. We would call it a 0. It stays in play. But what she did do was she got the next swing for her team by creating trouble and getting a free ball.
Samity into the net. I think Parise might have gotten a hand on it too. If you're just joining us, Stephanie Samity, 10 kills, 14 digs, but she is hitting .062. And the swing is long from Miyabe. Oh, goodness! Saidi Miyabe!
Coach McCutcheon gives her so much credit. You know, she wasn't expected to be a starter this season, but some injuries came up. She got thrown in, and she has developed a really nice game, especially offensively.
Yeah, Taylor Landfair has only played in 9 matches for Minnesota, has been out with an injury, and Miyabe has stepped in. She's got something going right now for the Gophers.
And you know, that smile that she brings when she puts that away, that can be infectious. That can be something to really inspire a team when they're down 2-1 and down a few points in the 4th.
Presley on the other side. Well, we told you about Miyabe going to junior college, playing for Southern Idaho. She actually sent an email to Hugh McCutcheon and the Minnesota coaching staff with her film and wanted to be a part of this Minnesota program. She reached out to them, and here she is helping them in the regional semifinals. Pretty nice pass, too.
Yeah, and it's not like they don't get about 1,000 of those a year. So smart of them to sift through and find somebody who's really helpful to their program.
Yeah, last season just 12 appearances for Miyabe, 12 kills, 9 blocks total. Well, guess what? Miyabe has 16 kills today.
And they're needing every one of them as Samity is struggling on offense. They have to find more production elsewhere and frankly just avoid Samity for a little while here, letting Miyabe, letting Winnes, like this swing, cover or handle more of the load.
Baylor has Presley Anderson in the middle. Number 15 in gray. They've tried a couple different options. We've seen Marika Vandermark and Kara McGee. They got the starts in the middle.
Nicely executed by Huseman on that.
Oh, centerline violation on Baylor. I think Presley stepped over the line.
Immediately, Coach McGuire comes over and says, you know what, now I want Yasiana Presley, instead of hitting on the right side behind the setter, I want her to shift over, which is what she does, and now she's available on the left side. They don't set her, but she's ready to take the swing that they know they can get from her on the left side.
Do you think she's stronger on the left side?
And then now they shift her back to the right. I've seen her in this season take great swings from either side.
Yeah.
She had a lot from the left side in their win against Texas, against undefeated and #1 Texas.
Tied up at 16. That's more of a Samity swing.
But you notice on the first one in that rally, it was nothing like a Samity swing. So it's interesting. She's just not able to bring nearly as much heat. When she can, that's having that ability is huge for her. And that's a big part of why she was voted Big Ten Player of the Year a second time. Nice up by her. Oh, no, that was by Schaffmaster.
Bram Schreiber. Lauren Harrison. Oh, there was a touch. The lines judge called a touch. Point Baylor, tied at 17.
Minnesota not convinced.
Yeah, and Hugh McCutcheon is going to challenge. This is his third and final challenge. Unless we go to a fifth set, he will get one more. Again, not using those experimental challenge rules. Back to the original rules for the tournament of 3 challenges per match, whether you win or lose that challenge.
You know, Courtney, we're sitting up a little higher. So we don't have the greatest angle, but that didn't seem like it was all that close to the block. And Minnesota, they took it for granted that that went out. They were all standing and getting ready to serve and block and defend again. They were actually surprised. It took them about 10 seconds to realize that the touch had been called on them. And then Coach Hugh McCutcheon showing them, they reversed the call.
So it is a point Minnesota.
I think that's the right call. So Coach McCutcheon was showing them all the possible variations that could come at them. Maybe Presley shifts over to hit left side. Maybe she hits right. This time Presley going to stay on the right.
Stephanie Samity then one as Samity goes long.
As she's swinging with less heat, she's trying to place the ball for kills instead of using heat to find the court. That time she placed it out.
Lauren Harrison wanted that ball in. Minnesota the first to 20. Trying to force a fifth set. And so Ryan McGuire is going to use his first challenge. These are critical points. Baylor wants to try to do this comeback and get out of here, not having to go to 5.
Yeah, that shorter fifth game, anything can happen. It just becomes more of an even matchup, more of a coin flip. So Baylor would love to finish this out before.
They originally called this ball out. If it touches the line, that is in.
Any part touching the line. Oh man, that is awfully close.
I feel like this is a tough call for that linesman to make too, because it's almost underneath him.
I'm not even sure I see him looking at the line. I guess he was looking down. That's a good view as we run it forward. That looks out to me.
This is also a good time for both teams to take a pause here as it's close, a 2-point game and a must-win set for Minnesota. Minnesota's gotten a little more life from Samity over these last few rallies. That's been the difference so far. Minnesota's going to keep that point, so they'll stay with the initial ruling. But Steph Samity came out swinging hard in the first set, 6 kills. Has had 6 kills since then. Vandermark.
You could hear her screaming for that set. She was ready, and of course the serve from Samity didn't cause any trouble. So Baylor gets a one-on-one blocking situation. The hitter should win that a very high percentage of the time.
Marika Vandermark, originally from the Netherlands, played 2 years of high school volleyball in Connecticut. Jenna Winnis. Haven't called her name in a minute. She's got 9 kills, 12 digs. Vandermark, they go back to her.
And you could hear her again. This is a great venue for volleyball, but it is loud and distinct, and setters love that. When they hear a hitter screaming for the ball, especially when it's behind the setter and the setter can't see whether she's really ready, gives her a lot of confidence to set that way.
Oh, that was in, yes! Bree Coleman. Ooh, Baylor's tied it.
Coleman's got a dangerous serve, too. She hits it very flat, a lot of pace. Hard to tell whether it's going in or out.
Raises the tape. Miabe underneath it has to hustle to attack. Here comes Presley. Out, no touch. Baylor back in the lead. Hugh McCutcheon wants to take a timeout. 3 points in a row for Baylor have them back on top. They need 3 more to advance to the round of 8.
I like what Schaffmaster was doing there with getting less production from Samity. She's got to take more of the offense into her own hands, but she expected a block to be there and tried to throw it off fingers on the way out of bounds.
We've already had a handful of teams make their way to the regional final. The regional final, that's the round of 8. Purdue started off our day with a 5-set match, defeating BYU. Louisville got the sweep. Pitt got the sweep. Georgia Tech swept Ohio State, so they are moving on to the regional final.
Georgia Tech is legit. The ACC is legit. Those top 3 teams are all, as we see, seeded in the top 8, including their first ever #1 seed, and of course that's the only undefeated team in the country in the D1 level now, and that's Louisville.
We've got some more matches on deck. We got volleyball all day. It's the best Thursday of the year. UCLA and Wisconsin. Karch and I will have that match for you coming up next here on ESPNU. Washington, Texas later tonight. That's intriguing. Those are 2 very different styles of teams.
Very different styles of teams and champions of 2 great conferences, the Pac-12 and the Big 12.
So the lineup continues, and remember, if there's a certain match you want to see, you can pull it up on the ESPN app. Every match is streaming in its entirety. Close 4th set. Baylor trying to end this thing. Service error. Tied up for the 7th time in this set. It'll be Katie Myers behind the service line. Minnesota's got to be pretty clean here.
What a tough serve.
What an ace!
Wow. You know, middles can be great servers. First of all, they're some of the tallest players. They jump, they can almost hit it down. That was so effective. It seemed to go down and very close to the net. It wasn't the typical short serve that has a lot of loop to it, but boy, those cross-court serves give front row outsides left. Well, Minnesota called the timeout before and then got a service error coming out of it. We'll see if instead Myers can hit a serve that's going to cause some trouble and allow Minnesota a chance to block and defend.
Minnesota lost in this round last year, or I should say earlier this season. This year, last season. Lost in the regional semifinal in 5 sets to Pitt. They want to extend their run this time. That's another tough serve.
Nicely defended.
Miabe with the tip. Skinner. Still going. Out. set point, Minnesota. A point away from a 5th set. Baylor timeout here. Baylor's got to be sound here. They can't afford any mistakes if they want to avoid that 5th set.
And if Baylor gets a good pass, an option they haven't been running so much is Yassiana Presley out of the back court. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sedgwick chooses to go to her. Presley often will run up to the top of your screen or more toward that top sideline. But, yep, there she goes. But they don't set her. Nice swing by Skinner.
Second set point, Minnesota.
And now on the Minnesota side, you've got Samity in the backcourt, but she's having trouble with heat. So you really have to be thinking Miabe out on the left side for this side out to get it, make it go 5.
How about that heat?
Wow, where'd that come from? We haven't been seeing that at all.
Pulled it out of her pocket from the first set, and Minnesota forces a 5th.
Well done by Samity. If they get more of that, they're going to like their chances in the 5th, but it's been a struggle for her to bring that kind of velocity errors. You know, for the season, they're about 14% error. On this match, they're closer to 20%. And those extra points, especially when it's 25, 23, it's so close, you don't want to give Minnesota freebies like that. One of them we saw a challenge on, but it was ruled still out of bounds. Those are the kind of free points that make it really tough to win against a great team.
So in 5 sets this year, Minnesota's record is 4-2. Baylor 1-3 in 5-set matches. But it all comes down to this one set. One of these teams is going to open the season here in UW Fieldhouse playing each other and close it, because that is happening right now. That's how they started this matchup. And
look who got Minnesota back in at the line, Myers. She had a great run, and there's another one. That's one of the choices that every coach has to make is who's our first server? Smart choice by Minnesota to put her right up to the line. That means she'll likely get a second service turn in this shorter game, this shorter set to 15.
Only, yeah, as you said, only playing to 15 in the 5th set. You still have to win by 2.
Causing trouble again. Nicely executed by Myers. Oh man, Miabe didn't touch that one very well.
Winna will get a swing off out of the back row. Lauren Harrison through the block.
Huge chance for Minnesota. That was not a difficult play for Miabe to control, and instead they had to send over a free ball, or a down ball, letting Baylor off the hook a little bit.
Baylor's offensive numbers have not been great, hitting 181 for the match. They've only hit under 200 on the season one time. That was against Wisconsin. Cece McGraw! Highlight reel waiting to happen.
Impatient play there. Better to keep it on your own side.
Avery Skinner makes up for it, gets the point.
Sometimes those plays at the net, people send over, but there are 6 people just waiting, and it's much better to pass it high on your own side and give somebody like Miabe a swing on the left.
Avery Skinner with 17 kills, one of 3 Baylor Bears in double figures. Samity. Long. Still hitting under 100. Lauren Briseno.
Oh.
Wow, Bramschreiber certainly laid out for it.
She was there. She wants that one back. What a nice effort by her. And a difficult play to make it with your left hand. Lots of spin coming off the block touch.
Vandermark. Here comes Yasi out of the back row. That puts her at 20.
We saw her having a lot of success out of the back row. She's been pretty quiet there. They've chosen to go more to Skinner on the left side and Vandermark behind.
And then an ace for Bree Coleman.
Yeah, Myers is the most effective server for Minnesota. Coleman is for Baylor. Both of them cause tons of trouble.
Baylor up in the
Backcourt swing from her, but she struggles in service reception, and that's a tough. It makes it tough for you to be an elite international outside hitter.
Baylor is hitting 400 here in the 5th set. Winner take all. Samity, yes. She's up to 14.
They move her back out onto the left side. Good setter connection. Everything lined up for her to take that hard swing that she's capable of doing.
Ball is in the hands of Rachel Kilkelly now for Minnesota. We're playing to 15 points. You have to win by 2. Anna Sedgwick is going to get a free ball back to her team and dumped it into the net.
And she had the option of Presley behind again, both behind her and behind the 3-meter line.
Parise blocked Ellie Huseman.
That's tough. You've got such a great option with Avery Skinner on one sideline and Presley on the other. 2 straight choices not to go to either of those two.
3 straight points for the Gophers. Kilkelly diving. Jenna Winnes. They call her Minnesota. Ties it at 6.
Great up by Kilkelly in the backcourt. What a nice read.
An ace for Minnesota. They've got the lead.
Boy, at some point, Coach McGuire's got to call a timeout and stop the bleeding.
Yeah, 5 straight points for Minnesota.
Surprised he's leaving it.
Avery Skinner tooling the block, tied again at 7.
That's a set Coach probably would have wanted to see earlier when they had those choices. Hannah Sedgwick had the choices to go to her or to Presley behind.
Presley off the bump set.
Skinner doesn't look okay.
Dropped it in.
What a nice swing by Steph Samity. That higher set, that broken play gave her time to get where to get her feet to the ball. And there's a challenge from Baylor.
Yeah, something happened in that rally to Avery Skinner.
She collided. Great hustle. Can't remember who she collided with, but it looks like maybe a took a knee to the throat or an elbow to the throat, and shaking it off. Looks like at least she's able to breathe enough to laugh, so that's a good sign.
Wow, well, Minnesota used a 5-0 run to come back. And now they have a 1-point lead.
Well, if you're Baylor, you still have two nice options in the front now both in the front row. You have Avery Skinner on the right, and of course the person who's carried their biggest offensive load this season, Naciana Presley, on the left.
So there was a Baylor challenge, and Minnesota keeps the point. Jenna Winnis has got a 2-point lead for Minnesota.
She's been hitting that high corner really efficiently the last half of this match. That also takes the block out of play. Love that high, deep swing.
Oh, another tough serve. Samity. Too wide.
Lost opportunity for Minnesota. A free ball. Couldn't convert it.
Avery Skinner behind the service line now. Oh, Presley.
Baylor, they've been doing that a lot this match. Oh, they called a net.
They called Parise in the net.
Wow.
And Ryan McGuire has his challenge card up.
Look at this huge move by Presley. Well done. They have been lining her up opposite Stephanie Samity, trying to go strength against strength. That time she won the battle. The question is, did she or oh yeah, there was a net.
Yeah, it's Parise's arm. Hits the net tape, so this point should stay with Minnesota.
Watch after the ball leaves right there. Net by Parise, number 2. Man, does that one hurt. The one that hurts you even more as a coach, Courtney, is when the other team hits the ball out of bounds. You didn't have to do anything for the point, but one of your blockers netted.
Right,
so
yes. Oh.
This is essentially the same thing.
So neither team with any challenges remaining. Minnesota 10-8, playing to 15 here in the 5th set. Spot in the regional final on the line. Power from Presley, 22 kills.
Starts with a nice touch from Harrison, and Baylor bringing Harrison out just for a play on to bolster their block, get a better block all the way across the net.
Both of these teams ended their runs last year in this round. Only one is going to advance this time. Vandermark. The drama continues. We're tied at 10.
Like what Baylor chose to do, they get to have Vandermark in transition. That's what she's been playing for them until this season, a little opposite.
Oh, service error.
Tough break for Baylor. They made that blocking sub, but you can't use it when you serve into the net.
Right.
Wasted chance.
Jenna Winnis. Winnis out of the back row. Monster swing, Jenna Winnis.
Wow, coming up huge. And only one blocker in front of her. The wing blockers were expecting the set to go toward one of the sidelines.
Presley off speed. Miyabe, Minnesota needs 2 points. Ryan McGuire calls timeout.
Nice swing by Miyabe. Smart swing to use that in hand. So important for hitters to learn to get comfortable actually attacking at the block.
Other players are stepping up right now for Minnesota when maybe the connection or whatever it is with Stephanie Samity is just not there right now. I mean, I say that and she has 16 kills, but
hitting under 100,
right.
And her season average is, over almost 2 to 3 times that. No, you're right. If they're not getting production from the middles and they're struggling to get production from Samity, either because of a connection problem with the setter or something else, then you have to get production from your other 2 lefts. And that's what happened on the last 2 plays. Winnis out of the backcourt, that nice swing on the Bic, and then Miyabe from the front court.
Reminder, winner of this moves on to face UCLA or Wisconsin in the round of 8, the regional final. That will be on Saturday. We still have Washington and Texas and Illinois, Nebraska for you in our nightcap. 3 more matches for you on our ESPN family of networks. For Baylor, what do you want to see different?
Well, they need a good first contact, but this is where, remember, we've been hearing Vandermark screaming for the ball. She's going to run across the court. She's in the front of her, closest to us on your screen right now. She's going to run across so she can put her left arm better to use. If they get a good pass, they've got some really nice options. Presley on the left or Vandermark on the right. Watch her sprint up toward the top of your screen.
There's Presley.
Presley down the middle.
Miyabe. Winnis with the tip. It is match point Minnesota. They used a 5-0 run earlier in this set and have been right there, and now they're up 4. Vandermark, wide, go Gophers, go! On to the round of 8! The 12 seed takes down the 5 seed here in Madison.
I am so impressed with Minnesota. Samity having a rough go of it, and 2 huge left sides come up and carry them to victory with Winnis and Miyabe.
Minnesota ending on a 5-0 run. Miyabe leading Minnesota with 18 kills. Jenna Winnis had 13 kills.
That's exactly what they needed. If they can't get the production that they normally do from the 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, it's going to come from those left sides. Really impressed. And Coach McCutcheon was talking about both of them yesterday in terms of